Welcome back. We're back. It's the Dark Mark Show on the GoCast Network. And you know, I'm sorry we took off last week. It's unforeseen circumstances, which I can't really talk about. I guess I could, but it'd be really boring. But you know who's back? By the way, Josie Cat, not here tonight. But look who's back. By popular demand. Look at that.
Yum.
That wasn't me, by the way.
That's Helles Belle is back.
Wow.
Yum twice.
Helles, say hi to everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Helles, we were talking before the show, and we've got some very special guests tonight, as you can see. Musical legends.
Well,
Yes,
one.
very. No, a couple.
We got one.
Couple musical legends. You can show
I'm
up
so
your
excited.
Grammy
I have a
nomination.
boner. It's hot.
Well, that makes
You and me both.
makes two of us. That makes four of us. But Helles, what were you telling me before? You attract two types of men.
Musicians and magicians.
You actually got that out because you have been drinking some absinthe, and it wasn't that clear about 10 minutes ago. Now you enunciate clearly.
I do.
So what have you been doing the last month, Helles? Any
I've
good
been-
stories?
I don't think anything I put on here.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
No,
Come
not
on.
anything G-rated, but I.
This is not a G-rated show. You know that. Look at that top.
Yeah, people want to know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
We wanna
Anyways,
know.
moving on.
we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
We'll have
exactly.
some more of this. Please, if you're at home,
Moving on to our
sip some of this. Today we have some. I'm very excited and very thrilled that I have two friends of mine, two musical legends. Well, two musical. Let me tell you a story. When I was 17, I wanted to be a guitar player. I bought a Stratocaster. I bought an amp. I took guitar lessons. I wanted to be a guitar player. And I was the worst. I was terrible. I can sort of play Smoke on the Water, the opening thing, a little bit. Cocaine a little bit. That's it. But we have tonight, if you like guitar, we got an all-star lineup tonight. Helles? I don't know if you know this song. Jansen, can you play the Temptation song, please?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a poll? Oh, I'm sorry.
Please dance if you want.
There's a poll here. That'd be great. It'd be like a
There is.
There's a hole in your mind. Please grab that. Well, you know the song, right?
I do.
Nice.
I do.
Look at that smile.
That's the effect.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great song? I love that song.
Dedicated.
Unbelievable.
Dedicated to her.
It's
Okay.
It's a love.
This is for
song,
you,
though.
Helles.
It's a love song.
It is a
though.
love song. And
I love
Jansen,
him.
now I know you know that song. You probably know this other song that was also made famous by the Temptations and also by Rod Stewart and others. Start that about an hour in there.
So that's Rod Stewart's version. Yeah.
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 Classic.
That's great. When you start singing, it'll be good. You know the song, right?
Do you know
When I start singing
Rod
it,
Stewart
then
played the Troubadour about a week ago?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Right around the corner from me. The
Oh my
Troubadour.
gosh.
So yeah. Anyway,
One of my-
forget Rod Stewart. Anyway, so you know who wrote those two songs?
We're working on you.
Do you know who wrote those two songs?
Who?
You see this guy right in front of you? Cornelius Grant. Cornelius Grant wrote both those classic
You know
songs.
you have dolls on you, right? There's dolls that are
and
made on you.
many other great songs. He was
Yeah.
if you don't know who Cornelius Grant is, and I
And
know.
you're retarded. You have to know.
Well, I guess you are retarded, but
Yeah.
if you don't know who Cornelius Grant is, he was the guitar player and musical director for the Temptations for 20 years.
Close.
Wow.
Yeah, I won't name
Quite a
anyone.
long time.
Close
Quite a
to.
long time.
They were calling you the Billy Preston of the Temptations on some websites, but I think you were probably more like the George Martin, maybe.
Yeah. They call me the 6'10" most of the time.
Oh, okay.
I was like-
You were
But
like
listen to that
Temptations.
voice.
That's big.
Is that the sexiest voice you
Yeah,
ever heard in
listen
your
to
life?
that voice. Come on, ladies.
And Cornelius,
Seriously.
show him the gloves because I thought my gloves were cool.
And look at the gloves. Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
We are going to get into that later.
Yeah, these are.
Just
That is mink, by
just
the
keep
way.
that in mind, ladies. The
Mink gloves, ladies and gentlemen. The man is a player. The
joke.
man.
We'll get into that later, but just keep in mind.
Yeah, I wore those
What he's wearing.
in the honor of Dark.
And the
because
voice.
when he does my comedy show, he always wears gloves, so I wanted to return the favor. When
I was at your comedy show. He does a show. Do you think I'm funny?
Right.
Do you think you're funny?
Do you think you're
Maybe
funny?
I have had a little bit of this. Do you think you're funny at the Barbara Morrison Theater in Leimert Park?
Right.
Which is a great show.
It's a great room.
It's a
also.
great room. I swear, if I could talk my white friends into coming down to Leimert Park, I would do a one-man show there because the vibe in the place is great.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You've always booked good comics because there's
best.
so many shows that the comics are horrible.
We have the best ones. There.
This one,
The thing is, they don't know we have really good security and everything. So you've been there. You see.
Oh, no, yeah, it's fine.
So it's safe. We have it safe.
actually, I talked about it on stage. I actually met a adult actress last week, and
Where is this at again, though?
It's at 43rd and Degnan, in Leimert Park.
43rd Deck. You know ML Cree and Crenshaw. It's just down the street from there.
In this area? So
No,
people know.
it's down. It's down. It's actually Leimert Park is a really nice arts district. They've got great shops.
Absolutely.
I'll take you down there one of these days. You come check out the show. Brando Murphy hosts the Raw show, and
I'd totally love to go.
and
Absolutely.
I'm blanking. Sam
Stewart.
Stewart
Sam
does the Clean
Stewart.
show. It's funny because
Well, they switch
It's
up
a guitar
sometimes.
show.
You know?
Right.
It actually started. We have two other young ladies who host. One is Andrea Loney and Rosie Hines.
right, and Rosie's the one that got me in.
Yeah, Rosie booked you over there.
Right,
But they're the two original hosts,
right,
you know, of the show.
Right.
And they were originally securing a lot of the talent in there.
Right.
And then Sam Stewart sort of came. He sort of started just helping them to book some of the talent in there. You know?
right, right.
And then he came to do the show, and I was like, hey, this guy's great.
Yeah.
So Andrea has been on the hiatus for about a month.
Right.
So Sam came in, and he's been really, really doing great.
Well, that's great.
You know? And yeah, we have all the best comics, as you know.
No,
We have the best comics.
they do. There's no scrubs on these shows. This is
No scrubs.
No, I was on the show last week and it was just nonstop laughs and we got some great comics. First off, I started doing the dirty show all the time.
Yeah.
But as of late, I've been doing
How
the clean
often
show.
does the show happen? Like when is it?
It's every week on Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Yes.
They have clean comedy. They have a musical interlude, which is usually jazz or Dylan Street, who's fantastic.
Yeah, we have a singing
And where
guitarist.
would you find this? Is
Hillard
it on-
Street. Hillard Street.
Hillard Street?
Hillard
He's
Street.
a
Oh, okay.
prolific
So it's
I said
live.
songwriter,
Dillard
singer.
Street, and I'm so sorry,
Yeah, it's
Hillard.
okay.
So it's live.
Yeah. So we've actually switched it around a bit. He now opens the show.
Oh, okay.
So we can go directly from the clean
Clean
show.
to the dirt. Oh, that's right. Because last week,
Oh,
you went
yeah.
right through.
Yeah.
So you can get your clean on, leave before the dirty stuff, and the dirty stuff gets really dirty. Because I was like the dirtiest one on the dirty show, and now like I just everybody wants to do dirty, so I'm doing clean. But not only are you a great guitar player, a great musician, and we will talk about the show some more. We also have another great guitar player, great musician here. You guys never met each other.
No.
This is like two generations.
I'm honored. I just need to say I'm
Total
honored.
opposites, but
I'm
complete.
honored to be next to Cornelius here
Yeah, he could be my
Seriously.
grandson.
Yeah, I see the resemblance. Well, we have a
in the lower region. Maybe.
Sin Quirin here.
Spectacular.
Sin Quirin, who, if you were watching the Dark Mark show, you're probably into metal, industrial, goth, crazy music, like I am, and you know the band Ministry. You know Ministry.
Hell yeah.
If you don't know Ministry, first off, I don't know why you're watching the show, but if you don't know Ministry,
If you don't know Ministry,
Jansen-
then click off. I don't
Jansen,
know.
play a little Ministry for him.
New World Order.
That's actually just one phrase, but that's all right.
That's rad.
What
Yes.
applied.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
That's him on guitar.
Yeah,
And like, how many other guys, too?
Well, there's 6 total in the band.
Right,
Yeah.
So let's share what album that was with that he was in.
right. And that was, Jansen, it was, I could listen to it all day, but I got to talk to you guys. But Sin, that was off the album Psalm 69, which was before you were in the band.
Correct.
But you're in the band now.
Oh yeah. I
Have you
came
guys,
in and
you guys played the Viper Room?
I have played the Viper, but Ministry hasn't.
The group hasn't,
Yeah, the group hasn't. I came in late 2005. I came into the Revolting Cocks.
Right.
And then,
which is another band that he's in.
yeah,
Awesome.
and then
Revolting Cocks.
And then we toured with Ministry in 2006. We opened for Ministry.
Right.
And on that tour is when I got close to Al. Al and I became, really good friends. And he basically asked me to help him write what turned into The Last Sucker, that
Right.
album. And so I ended up co-writing like half of that record with him.
Right, and then just so you know, Al Jurgensen is the guy who created Ministry that we just heard. He has so many bands that he does at the same time. He's got Ministry, Revolting Cocks. It's a great name for a band, as you can. I'm sure.
know.
Yes, and
Love it.
and I even was twittering today. I'm like, what happens when a Temptation and Revolting Cock, Helles Belle come into the room? And now we know. But he's also
Love
had
Revolting Cock. I mean,
he's also had
come
other
on.
bands called Lard, 1,000 Homo
Oh
DJs.
my God, I love lard.
Pale Head, all this stuff, and so and I mean the guy's been around. Actually, he started out in the '80s. Here's the history of Ministry.
Yeah.
He started out in the '80s. It was more of like a techno, like in the '80s they used to have Spandau Ballet and Depeche
Kind of
Mode
a
and all
synth
those
pop kind of
synth pop
thing.
band, and then every album it just became more and more heavier,
Right.
and just heavier and heavier. And then all these other bands were like little things like Revolting Cocks is more of a funk sort of thing, more
Yep.
of a funk sort of sound. Not I mean, you're the master of funk, but I mean, it's not Temptations funk, but it's like it's like if you took that band and
not
had them
Motown
play
funk.
punk,
Exactly.
have them play
Not
funk.
Motown funk.
Yeah. So and you've also toured with. I mean, you have so many bands yourself.
Yeah, I mean, because of the Ministry thing, I mean, it was Revolting Cock's Ministry, and then I toured with Lords of Acid, I toured with American Head Charge, and then, my own projects and stuff. But it's always mainly been Ministry. It's my main band.
And actually, since we're playing music, here's Lords of Acid for you. Just so I think you might actually, I think you might like this a little better in Ministry. I think you might dig this. Can you play a little Lords of Acid?
This is the year that he was in it, right?
Yeah. You know, I pulled all clips that he's in. It's a little funkier,
Yeah.
and there's a female singer. It's a little.
Yeah, I call that the pocket. They're more in the pocket.
There you go. Totally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unlike when I was taking guitar lessons and.
Yeah, this was 2010, I think.
Right. And it surprised me. Thanks, Janice. It surprised me that you actually were touring with Lords of Acid because I didn't know they had guitars.
Yeah, most of their recordings don't have guitars. It's funny that you say that because what happened with that situation is I got called from Maurice from Praga Con.
Right.
And he basically...
No idea who he is, but okay.
He's the guy that started... He's like the Al Jorgensen.
No, I know. I'm no kidding. It's coming to me now.
And so he started the band. He's in Belgium.
Okay.
And so, he was getting ready to do a U.S. tour, and he wanted to form the band in the States.
Right.
So he contacted our manager, and he said, came to me and he said, hey, I want you to play guitar. I want you to assemble the band here in L.A.
Right.
And so I basically got everybody together here in L.A.
Okay.
And I remember emailing him and saying, well, what do you want me to play because there's no guitar in their recordings? You know what I mean? So I'm like, do you want me to you want me to follow the synth line? Do you want me to write parts? What do you want me to do? And it was impossible to get an answer out of him. And he was basically, when he would get back to me, it was like, oh, just do whatever you think is right. And so I basically just kind of wrote whatever I thought would go along with it, and it ended up sounding a little industrial-ish. If you noted, if you went to that tour, the band sounded a little heavier than previous tours.
Yeah.
Right.
But luckily it worked out. But yeah, I mean it was interesting because there are no guitars in their recordings.
I was trying to pull the Lords of Acid song. I'm not sure the "Set on Your Face" song, but
I Sit on Acid.
Yeah, so which is the chorus is "I want to sit on your face, I want to sit on your face," which is
Catchy.
Yeah, but the video wasn't bad.
Sit on your face.
Well, just for you. But anyway,
Yes,
Cornelius
please,
Grant.
thank you.
now, how many instruments do you play,
Well,
or have you played professionally?
I only play the guitar professionally, really.
Okay.
I could tinker around on bass a bit, but I didn't really care for bass that much.
Piano,
and I just
keyboards.
played a little. I play a little arranging piano.
Okay.
That's about it.
Because you were the musical director for the Temptations,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and that great Temptations song we heard. Obviously, the vocals are amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
but the music behind it is just as amazing, but doesn't get the credit.
Well, one of the methods that was used at Motown, often we did the music first. Mm-hmm. You know,
Right.
we got the tracks right first.
Right.
And then, you know, even sometimes the music came before even the idea of the song, really. It was just the music.
Right.
And from the music, you know, you sort of, that sounds like, I think I got a hook for it. you know?
Right.
So then it would be written from the music.
Because I was reading that I Can't Stand Losing You, the Temptations song that Rod Stewart did,
I know
Rare Earth did.
I know I'm losing you.
I know I'm
Gotta get it right
sorry. I'm
now.
insulting my musical legendary guests. I know I'm losing.
Yeah.
You were just kind of playing around in the studio, just kind of jamming?
Yeah. My bass player, ironically, for a long time, you know, we never used the piano for our live shows.
Right.
You know, so it was just the three-piece. It was just me, bass, and the drum.
Really?
Right. And
Wow.
a lot of people didn't know that for a long time. You know, like Paul Schaefer and people like that, they were really amazed that it was just three guys.
Yeah.
You know. But we practiced it so everybody sort of had their part. You know. So
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you cover a piano part
just-
or you know, they had...
Well, for example, just like when you hear "Beauty's Only Skin Deep," you know,
Right.
on the record, you know, it's like a vibe, a xylophone playing the figure, you know.
Right.
So on a live show, I would always play that part
Oh, okay.
on the guitar,
Wow.
you know. So people never really missed it.
And
They wouldn't have been able to hear the vibe anyway.
wow.
But yeah, it was the bass player and I were messing around in the rehearsal room,
Right.
and I was playing fifths, you know, plum plum, you know.
Right.
And the bass player said, "Yeah, that's a nice sound." Us bass player, we call those double stops.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, double stops. You know, I sound like that sound." So I just plum plum. I just kept doing that, and Norman Whitfield walked by the door, and he heard that,
Right.
and he came. He said, "Play that again."
Who's the big songwriter at
Yeah,
Motown?
he was the big producer.
Producer, okay.
Yeah, he was our main producer.
Right.
And he said, "Play that again." So I was, boom, boom, and I just went to boom, 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 boom.
Classic line.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, put some chords to that." You know.
Meanwhile, when they say
no,
double stops and all this stuff, they're like, yeah. We're like, we have no idea. But,
Yeah, it was fifths, you know, fifths.
oh, yeah, fifths. And, yeah, okay.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Sin's like, I know. Yeah. Tell me more.
so I teased
Yeah.
George Clinton, you know, Parliament Funkadelic
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
because, you know, he was in a doo-wop group first.
Yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
They're called the Parliaments.
Yeah.
And they had a song out called "I Just Want to Testify."
Okay.
I just want to testify what
Okay.
your love has done for me. Da, 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 da. And so when Norman told me to put some chords to it, that song had been going in my head. So I just started playing the chords to the song, really. You know, da, da, da.
And putting your hook into
Yeah.
it.
And so he said, "Okay, we're gonna cut that." You know, I think it was a Friday, and he said, "We're gonna cut that Monday."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
So we assembled in the studio, and you know, with the Funk Brothers,
Right.
and I kicked it off. We played that you know, that figure and the chord structure.
And that's probably the most famous song that you've written. Probably the one that's paid
Yeah.
you the most money.
Yeah, that's the one that keeps me a Snicker bar.
That keeps Snicker
Snicker
bar.
bar.
Snicker bars and mink gloves.
Wait, what year was that?
Yeah,
Gee,
Snicker bars.
That was like 67 around there. 67,
Who
68.
was in the lineup at that time in the Temps?
Well, that was the David, Paul, Eddie, Melvin, and Otis. You know what I'm saying?
The classic line.
Yeah, the classic line.
I got to say, I watched that Temptations movie on
Classic
VH1
lineup.
Yeah.
every time it's on. I swear. Like, I don't get tired of it. I have it recorded.
Aw.
I have it recorded, and every time it's on, I still watch it.
Yeah.
And how accurate is that?
Yeah, how accurate is
About
that?
65%.
Right.
Sounds
And,
about
and
like
who plays
Hollywood.
you? Does anybody play you in the movie?
No, they a lot of people they hear people using the name Corn in the
Oh, okay.
movie,
But
Right.
is it just you?
and they thought it was me, but that was Eddie's
Okay.
nickname.
Right. So they just sort of like.
Yeah, so they
They wrote you out.
Yeah, they sort of wrote me out. But you know, a lot of the fans were upset about that. You know,
Right.
a lot of they grew up with us, a lot of them, you know. So
Right.
so they were like, well, why didn't they address you in the movie? I said,
Right.
well, you know. So when the movie was about to come out, there were a lot of people who talked about boycotting the movie, believe it or not. I was getting calls from a lot of our fans who grew up with us and said, we're going to boycott that movie. We're going to boycott that movie.
Well, since I know you, I boycotted the movie, but then I never saw it. So that's now I'm gonna have to Netflix it. But
So I was like, I was like Les McCann
Netflix
told his kids when I said, "Shut up! I got 2 songs in that movie." So
oh, that's right.
Exactly.
Watch the movie. Keep watching it. Keep putting it on
Yeah.
VH1 Classic.
yeah, so
And Sin, how many
Absolutely.
instruments do you play? You play guitar. You play.
I play guitar. Played bass. Like,
I guess if you play guitar, you
professionally.
can play bass too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, bass is just kind of like
Yeah.
I picked it up just because as a necessity. Growing up, you know what I mean. Like I would have bands where
Every band
I
needs a
would
bass
have to
player.
kind of show. I would have to show somebody what to do, so I just kind of started playing bass as well.
Right.
And then I played the sax all through for about 6 years, all through junior high and high school.
Right.
I was actually pretty good at that, and some light keys, you know,
Right.
just to like when I'm songwriting, basically,
Right.
and some drums as well.
So basically, you're a one man band, basically.
I mean, my main instrument's the guitar.
Working for a guy with Al Jorgensen, who's
Yeah.
a real one man
Yeah,
band.
yeah,
Plays
well, that's the
everything,
thing.
too.
So
Yeah.
are you working for L, or are you just kind of like,
The Ministry's
Yeah.
doing a new album.
Yeah, we got a new record, and
yeah, you're multitasking.
yeah,
So.
which comes in handy. I mean, when we're in the studio, it's like, say I come in with a song that I wrote.
Right.
I'm usually the one that will do the guitars, the bass, you know,
Awesome.
some keys or electronics, whatever. And then Al always does all the vocals and melodies and stuff like that.
Let me ask you a question. Because I'm always curious because he always has great guitar players in his band. How good is he on guitar?
He's great, but you know what? He hardly plays the guitar anymore.
Right.
He played it more in the 90s.
Right.
And he just kind of got, I don't know, lazy maybe.
So who plays the guitar?
So,
then?
so I mean, he puts the
Yeah.
guitar on every few songs.
Yeah,
right?
like he does the lead in Just One Fix.
Right.
He does the lead part in
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
And when Ministry was at their peak, Cornelius, they had like 3 guitar players, 2 drummers. It was just a wall of sound,
Yeah.
just crashing right at you.
Yeah.
Not the full spectral wall of sound, just like a wall of destruction. Just and what they were, and if I could explain it, they were like the first band to take heavy metal and kind of use the techno stuff and the synthesizers and samples and mix the two.
mix it together.
Yeah.
So it's like heavy metal that you could dance to that kind of had like some hip hoppy,
Yeah.
techno-y sort of elements to it,
Yeah.
and so many bands have followed suit, and they're all there's so many bands that do it now.
Yeah.
But you grew up in Detroit,
Yeah.
and you started playing music when you were 15,
Well, actually 9.
Wow.
professionally.
No, not professionally.
Right.
At 15, I was doing nightclubs. I was in nightclubs by 15.
And how did that work? Like you would be would they have you stand outside?
Yeah, I would have to, between sets, I'd have to leave the stage and go wait in the dressing room.
So you were playing guitar professionally in nightclubs when you were 15,
15, yeah.
and so I would imagine in high school, like
Well,
you didn't have a lot of patience for
Wow.
high school, I would guess.
Well, after my first trip to New York and first major recording session is when I sort of lost my interest in the scholastic side. So,
And what was your first recording session?
my first major recording session was with a guy named Freddie Pride, who was one of the original Midnighters, Hank Ballard and the Midnighters.
Oh yeah,
And he had broken away to do a solo.
right.
And so he heard me, he had this song he had written, so he heard me play at this club.
Right.
And between sets, he came and he said, listen, I got this song.
Right.
I want you to play, a little solo or something on it,
Right.
So I played something. He said, that's exactly what I want. So he said, I got to go to New York and do this recording session. Mm-hmm. So I said, I didn't think much of it.
Right.
And so he went to his manager, who was a lady,
Right.
who owned a beauty shop there. And
You notice how deep his
In
voice
Detroit.
got when he's talking about it.
And so he was getting ready to go to New York to do the session, and so he said, "Listen, I want to take this guitar with me." And she said, "Nah, what do you need? They got musicians all over the place in New York. What do you need him for?" She said, "No, I want him."
Wow.
So that was my first plane ride,
Really?
first trip to New York,
Yeah.
first major recording session,
Right.
all in one. And so when I came back to Detroit, I was like, "Well, I know what I want to do."
Wow. And I'm sure 15 years old on your own in New York.
Yeah,
I can imagine the hijinks.
Yeah, it was a real high.
And you can tell girls, oh, I'm a guitar player, and that because you guys are guitar players. You got there's a phallic thing to the guitar.
Yeah,
The facade
I think so.
of it.
I think so.
But I mean, you guys, and we're gonna get to some groupie stories and female
Oh, I
stories.
can only imagine.
I can only imagine if your penises could talk. I could just imagine what they would say. I mean,
Lord, let me tell you.
The peak of Motown in the '60s and the peak of industrial rock in the 2000s. Holy moly!
Yeah.
I mean, you probably have had sex with people in the same family tree. Like you probably had sex with somebody's mother that he had sex with.
Probably.
Probably.
Oh my
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Quite probable.
You might actually be his father. I don't know.
It's possible.
I don't know.
He might be your
possible.
dad.
He might be your dad because we were trying to get somebody to adopt you. These guys might be related.
You remember earlier I said he could probably be my grandson.
Yeah, he's like, man, he's playing in the
Strong
pocket just like me.
Wow.
But no, Sid, seriously, let me ask you a question because, I mean, what he did in Motown, you've listened to all the Temptation stuff.
Oh, yeah.
How hard is that to play on guitar?
No, you know, the thing is, back then, man, everybody could, well, not everybody, but they actually played their instruments.
Right.
And they were very good at it.
Right.
To whereas all the modern guys now, I mean, not to take anything away, there's a lot of great guitar players out there right now, but my hat goes off to that generation and that era. Because to me, those guys, I mean, in the studio, there were no Pro Tools. There was no, like, you know what I mean? They were actually doing it.
And the guitar wasn't,
And
I mean,
knew how to
obviously
do
your
it.
guitar's like in your face.
Yeah.
Their guitar was in the background, but
It
they
was,
played
it was a whole, the skill level
Right.
back then, I think, just far surpasses
and
what
you had to
is
play
out
all
there
those songs live, and you could not mess up. I'm sure you did once in a
Yeah, we had
once
to
or twice.
duplicate. You know, and I was really pissed when when they started with the wah-wah and stuff, you know. Because I had to duplicate all that shit.
Yep.
And live,
Right.
you know.
So they would have the Funk Brothers play in the studio,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to duplicate everything live.
Right.
With a 3-piece?
Yeah.
And the Funk Brothers, how many people are in that band?
Well, let's see. There was 3 guitars, bass, piano, vibes, tambourine, bongos. That was like the nucleus.
And you had to arrange all that
Yeah.
to sound right with 3 pieces.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, you know, obviously people were watching the singers. I mean, you guys were on stage with them, or I mean, were you behind the curtain? Were you invisible?
No,
or-
we were on stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Except when we played theaters in the round, you know,
Right.
we were like in the pit.
But
So I was trying to see like clips from like, you know, on YouTube of the Temptations that had you know there, and I couldn't find any, but it's okay. We have a weird thing, so you can't see anything. So, but so what was the first time what was the biggest audience you played? The
Gee.
biggest
Heck, I don't know. That's
stadiums?
stadiums.
Stadiums,
Yeah, we did.
hundreds of thousands.
What's the big stadium in New York at the time?
Madison?
Shea Stadium.
Nokia.
Shea Stadium.
Stadium.
We played Shea
Staples.
Stadium.
Well, when did you guys play
Played like
Shea Stadium?
I don't know what year it
Like
was.
was it after the Beatles or before the Beatles or
It was. I think we did it before the Beatles. I believe.
right?
Yeah.
Because they were always copying you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were camping. But
Actually, in some respects, I'm sure they were.
yeah,
They're like, well,
We-
Temptations did it. We should do
we
it.
did. An interesting thing. You remember the My Sweet Lord,
George Harrison.
George Harrison. Well, my rhythm section, we laid the original track for that.
Really?
The work track. He came. We were playing the Talk of the Town in London, and he came and he got us, and we went to the studio and we laid the original track for My Sweet Lord.
Nice.
Did you get any money off of that?
No,
He was a cool guy. You
Yeah,
just,
we
why
just
not?
you know it was cool, and
Yeah.
we just did the thing.
But I mean, you worked with Marvin Gaye,
Yeah, well, I was Marvin Gaye's first guitar player. I started with Mira Wells.
right?
I started with Mira Wells, and I used to, believe it or not, I used to open. We had like a little tour thing we put together, so I used to open the show.
And how old were we then?
I was like 19.
Wow, 19 on the road
19, 20.
with Mary Wells. And Mary Wells all the girls would come because she was a woman, and right?
Yeah,
And you were 19, and
Well-
hey, I like the way you play guitar.
well, you know, see, I had been playing nightclubs, you know,
Right.
early on, so I was used to older women in the first place. So
like when you were 15, you were like
What happened?
snapping up all the cougars, and
I developed some skills. You know. Some real skills.
I'll bet you did. And you played stadiums too, right?
Oh yeah, we did last summer. We did Poland. We did Woodstock Festival in front of 400,000 people.
Wow.
That's the biggest so far that I've done.
Wow. And what is that like being on stage? I mean, I like being on stage in front of 30
You must
people.
have a
at
bunch of groupies. It's
course.
crazy. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. That I mean, prior to that, the biggest crowd I'd been in front of was 90,000 in
Right.
Serbia, which I thought, I'm never gonna top that. And then
Right.
last year we do Woodstock and 400. I mean, it was, you could hear the roar of the crowd as
Right.
we're walking up on stage, and you can't even see the end. It's just like a bunch of ants.
Like a sea of people.
Because I go up on the Barbara Morrison Theater in front of 30 people, kill. I'm like, I'm the god. I'm the comedy god. I can just imagine being in front of 100,000, 500,000 people like you guys, and then to come off of that,
It's unbelievable.
come off of that and just.
And I mean, at least for me, the high is always there, whether you're in a small club playing.
Sure.
I mean, because it's the love of playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, the more people that are there, the more kind of that energy is there. That you feed off of from the crowd. But that high that you feel is always there.
And when you're a guitar player and you're in front of a big crowd like that, you can just do the and then everybody.
Absolutely, just walk out.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. And when you're a guitar player,
She needs more drink.
No, I think she's doing okay.
I don't know, but the top is still on.
Yeah, well, that's true. Anyway, you were saying there's two types of guys that. What were the two types of guys you like? It was
musicians and magicians.
okay.
Very
She
good.
needs a
Still
few
got it.
more.
Love me.
Yeah.
See,
Yes.
the first time I thought she said musicians and musicians. So
That's what I thought.
Yes,
too.
yeah, and you're like,
we were
Mark,
kind of like,
you leave the
we were
room
kinda
for a
sticking our
second.
chest out.
Yeah.
We were kind of sticking our chest out.
Alright.
Oh, well, musicians. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
It's your lucky day.
But I mean,
Yay! Wow, I'm left
Pour
out.
cock blocked again on my own show. I can't win.
Pour her
I
a
can't
drink,
win.
please.
How?
Bartender, pour her a
Love
drink.
it.
Oh yes, here. Here, yeah. Just,
Oh, and you pour my absinthe. Yay.
anyway,
What is
So
that,
it's-
NyQuil?
No. This is absinthe, and trust me,
Nice.
I've tried the NyQuil stuff.
I would love me.
Anyways, but and Alan Jorgensen, obviously a big name, but Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder, holy
Oh.
crap!
It's huge.
And Stevie Wonder had to be. Were you working when he was a little kid, or?
yeah, when he was like 13.
And were you just? Were people around like, yeah, what's this little kid doing here? And or did everybody like, wow, this guy's big?
If you go to see the play, there's a Motown, the musical.
Right.
And in the play, there's certain things that are addressed. For example, Steve, even though he was performing live, on the Motown Review, they call it.
Right.
But he hadn't got a hit record.
Right.
So actually, the word is that Barry was about to drop him.
Okay.
He's about to get rid of him.
Right.
And so if somebody don't get a hit on this kid, he's
Right.
got to go. So
Well, how did they discover him?
I know.
yeah, I think Ronnie of the Miracles, I think he brought him in,
And
for like an audition.
And he just blew
And it
everybody
was
away.
kind of like, this kid, he's good because he was obviously talented then. I mean,
Right.
He was truly a genius.
Right,
He
but
was a
they
genius at
were
the time.
sort of thinking maybe another Ray Charles sort of thing.
Yeah.
They were trying to.
And so by him being, blind and everything, but
Right.
still, Barry's thing was, hey, we need hit records. I mean,
Right.
So.
Well, I was reading the Temptations were like that too. They were because it took them a while to get a hit
Oh,
record.
they spent 4 years just singing background,
Right.
backup, yeah.
And they were
used to
calling
sing-
the Hitless Temptations and
Well, they call it Hitler Supreme. They didn't.
Oh,
Tim's
okay.
never really got that moniker, but the Supremes.
right. Oh,
did.
Supremes did. Okay,
They call them the-
yeah.
the Hitler Supreme.
Wikipedia, you were wrong again.
But that's how I met.
Damn
I met the
Wikipedia.
Timps when I was with Mary Wells,
right.
and Barry sent them out. We played a gig in New York, and he sent them out to sing backup for Mary and also to open the show.
Right.
And so they came out and they didn't have a guitar player.
Right.
So they, said, "Can you play guitar?" I was okay.
Right.
So I played guitar, and so when we finished, Paul called me in the dressing room, and he said, "Man, when we get a hit record," he didn't say if we get a hit record.
Right.
He said, "When we get a hit record,
Okay.
I don't care who you're with or what you're doing, you coming with us."
Oh, okay.
It's like that,
Nice.
And that's how you got on Motown?
Well, I was already,
okay.
with Mary Wells, and so when I left Mary Wells and went to Marvin Gaye.
Right. How did Mary feel about that?
Well, it was a mutual.
Something tells me there's more than meets the eye here.
It was very mutual.
Yeah.
We didn't have.
See, this is
we didn't get along
when
very
you
well.
when you get intimate with your coworkers, sometimes it ends bad.
No, we.
Uh-oh.
No,
I know,
it didn't
right?
go. It didn't,
Well, we don't have to worry about
Crazy.
that, but
Yeah.
yes.
No, it
Since you
didn't-
only show up once a month, it's all right.
it didn't go that way with her.
Yeah.
It's that, she had. We just didn't have,
Creative
see the eye to
Just
eye thing.
musically, it was kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
little things. So
You maybe outgrown her musically, or
Yeah, there were
Yes.
a few things.
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, because the manager, road manager at that time, who actually hired me,
Right.
I'm pushing him and the road manager from the Temps
Right.
to get together and do a book, because there's a lot of stories.
Oh,
a lot of stuff.
I'd love to
And so
read it.
I sort of got them working on it. They're working on it now. We're going to do
Oh,
like
okay.
a book.
Nice.
We're going to do some lectures and stuff.
glad.
There's a
Cool.
lot of stories.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm trying to get them all out here, but
Yeah.
but Marvin Gaye in the studio, unbelievable, right?
Oh, truly a genius. I'm using
Right.
a GM. But Marvin is responsible for me conducting. 'Cause
Okay.
I didn't know anything about conducting anything. So about the second gig with Marvin, he called me in the dressing room and says, "Corn, listen, I need a conductor and a guitar player,
Right.
and I can't pay both.
Right.
So you're it."
Wow.
And it was silence, because I was like, "Oh shit."
And then you went from there to the Temptations.
Yeah. But so he's responsible for me starting with the conducting and everything. So when I got with the group, part of my duty was to conduct and play guitar.
And by the way, can I call you Corn?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Anyway, Corn, we're gonna one thing I want to do, because we do have a sponsor this week. This week we are sponsored by my crackhead uncle, and actually we are sponsored by our mutual friend Steve Turner, who's a very funny comic. Like I said, there's no scrubs on the "Do You Think You're Funny" show. This
Nice.
guy's hilarious. Kind of hard to describe.
I
but
want to
he's-
come to one of these Tuesdays.
He's
I'm
hilarious.
going to go check it out.
Oh,
You got to come over.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, tell Brandon to book me on the Dirty Show next week. We'll get everybody together. We'll do it all together. To next week or the week after, we'll do it. I'll email Brandon.
Okay.
Because I love doing the clean show, but the Dirty Show's it's so much more fun.
Yeah, David Zasloff, he likes to do the dirty show.
Yeah, I don't mind either way, but and as you can see, I could do it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of comics can do both.
Right.
But anyway, Steve Turner, very funny comic, has done a movie, My Crackhead Uncle. I wish we had the video for it, but we do have the audio. This is very funny. Check this out, folks. Anyway, I got the wrong clip. That's like the theme song from My
Uh-oh.
Crackhead Uncle. But if you go to mycrackheaduncle.com, mycrackheaduncle.com, it's a very funny movie. It's low budget, but it's like Clerks, it's like Friday. Just funny. You don't need a budget to be funny, and it is very funny. Mycrackheaduncle.com. But Sin,
Cool.
you've I don't know who's breathing into the mic. It's probably me, but
It might be me.
yeah, you're like Darth Vader.
I'm
You're
holding my
like,
breath.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
You know we're gonna make a movie from out of Do You Think You're Funny?
I can't wait.
Nice.
No, trust me. This is like this show. It's like I said. There's no scrubs on there. It's
Crazy madness.
well, the Dirty Show's like it's like Def Comedy Jam but better,
Cool.
like better material, like Def Comedy Jam with good jokes.
Nice.
And the Clean Show is the Clean Show. It's funny because the Clean Show, I do it clean. Some people have a problem with it, and a few things slip out here and there, but mostly it's clean. It's family friendly.
We keep it David Letterman clean.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course, he fucks his interns. But Sin,
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
Speaking of fucking interns,
did
go
you
to me.
did you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sin.
I know that.
Well, wait a second. Let me ask because everybody's been asking me, Helles. You are a beautiful. You told me you were a mutt, but you're a beautiful mutt. What is your nationality? Inquiring minds want to know. Right in here.
Completely. Oh wait, am I live?
You're turn the microphone.
Drink.
No, I think she said no.
Yeah, I'm completely.
All right, we have no idea what nationality
Nice.
you are.
Yeah,
But Sin, I don't know what
but-
nationality you are. You're
I'm
very
Mexican.
exotic. You're Mexican. Okay.
Yeah.
Full blood.
Yeah, I'm both my parents born in Mexico. I was the first in my family to be born in the States.
Right.
I didn't learn to speak English until I went to kindergarten.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Oh,
I
I learned to speak Canadian.
I think that makes four of us, so-
But interesting, I also started playing the guitar when I was 9.
Wow.
Oh, you and I are
Magic
friends.
number. It's a magic number.
Ooh, yeah, and I guess when I started when I was
We're
17, I was too late.
A few others. You know a lot of other guitar players started it.
So you're
Same
part
age.
Mexican.
9 years
I guess.
old.
You're 9 years old.
Yeah.
I'm Spanish.
Okay.
And a bunch of other things. But I learned to speak English.
Nice.
So, yay. We're
Are you sure about that,
Whoa,
or
what's Careful.
yes? Anyway, so
I
no,
am,
don't worry.
sure.
We're gonna get you over there in a second. But Sin, you have a new band in addition to Ministry and all
Yeah.
the other projects you have.
Yeah.
You have a new band,
New band called Supermanic.
Supermanic, and
Yeah.
there was a Ministry song called Supermanic Soul. Is that
Supermanic Soul. No, that
Does that have something to do with that, or
No, it actually doesn't. One night, believe it or not, I had a dream, and I was up at a chalkboard, and I saw the word Supermanic,
Right.
and that just stuck in my head.
Right. And you know the album that's on is
Of
That
course,
Lady on the
of
Chalkboard.
course,
Okay.
of course. So I know maybe somehow, that was just something that was on my mind, but
Right.
it wasn't named after that,
Okay. Has Al given you shit about that?
No,
or-
not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
Does he even know?
Probably not.
So it wasn't anything that you like put out there. It was just something that
Yeah, it just kind of
you
popped into my head.
popped in
That
your
dream.
head.
Hell's it's a 2 absinthe minimum from here on in, please.
Yeah.
He's really hot, ladies. So
He
stop.
is. Well, first off, how hot? I mean, the voice. This man is super cool. This man's hot. I'm hot.
Hot.
I'm hot. Anyway, well, let's hear a little bit.
All my friends are hot bitches. That's all I have to say.
Well, please, once again, don't use the F word.
Again.
Don't
Oh,
use
I'm
the F
sorry.
word. And no, you can say fuck. You just can't say friend on this show. I'm nobody's friend.
Oh, okay. Well, all my bitches are hot.
All your bitches are hot.
Cool.
Now the show's coming.
Now it's
Anyway,
going.
let's hear a little bit of Superman.
Should be dancing to this.
Dance to this. Let's get up. Come on.
There should be a poll.
There is a poll.
There should be a poll.
There's a poll right here.
3 poles.
3
Need a poll.
There we go. Uh-oh.
I got a poll for you.
I don't hear music.
Just can't hear it.
Oh wait, since you're up.
Yeah,
By the way,
since
I
you're
like
up.
I like the song. This
Thank
is
you.
good. No, it's very good.
They played this that night at Sinister, actually. Tommy did.
Okay,
Yeah, it was a trip.
Yeah,
Hearing
I-
it there in the club.
but I like it. It's
Cool.
Once again, it's the best of industrial. It's kind of got a little dance thing and some guitar.
Yeah.
But since you were up, I was going to say because it was Cornelius' birthday last week.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to tell you how old. You see, that's Cornelius right there. The guy that was in the Temptations.
No.
That's Sin. He's in ministry.
I think
Which
it's
we
your
might be
birthday.
related.
It's
Yeah, it was my birthday too.
When,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's his birthday.
A few months ago.
Anyway, would you give them birthday spankings for me, please?
They can give me spankings.
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, that's much better.
That's better.
I know, right?
Yeah. Much
Right?
better.
Thank you, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, if you like to do that, you're more than welcome to.
I think you should lay on the table, actually.
Well, yeah.
I don't
Uh-oh.
want to break anything.
You're not going to break
Yeah.
it. You'll be fine.
Are people going to yell at me?
You asked for it, Sin. Hold on.
Now we have a show.
So anyway,
Now we have a show.
so you were.
Now it looks like we're on tour.
No, we have a show.
So what is the craziest groupie experience you guys
Oh,
have?
God. Oh, Jesus. You know,
How many girls? How many girls have you had, Sin?
Yes.
a number you want?
At one time. At one time.
At one time, 5.
Show her how to use the mink. Show her how to use mink gloves, Corn.
You want here?
Oh, the mink gloves, you'd have to.
There you go.
No.
Caress.
Have to do that.
There you go.
How's that feel,
There. That's the spot.
Corn? How many girls at one time for you?
No, I usually only 2. I usually like a one-on-one,
Yeah.
but I don't do.
And again. And again. And again. And again.
Let me get some leverage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
And you guys thought this show would be boring.
Oh my god.
Sin's pretty good at that. Well, I mean, he's a guitar player, so his hands are calloused and stuff. So same with Corn, right? Your hands must be really calloused.
Nice.
No, my hands are soft.
Oh, really?
Wait,
You
keep backing
moisturize?
up.
Yeah.
Are you moisturized?
Yeah, I think you're going to be moisturized in a second.
Hey-o!
Hey now.
Yeah.
Make sure to tip your waiters and
So
waitresses.
how's the new ministry album sound?
the new ministry
How is the ministry album?
the new ministry
looking?
album
Looks
will
good
be
from here.
out- The new ministry album will be out September 6th.
And what's the title? It was a cool title, but I forgot what it was.
It's called From Beer to Eternity.
From Beer to Eternity. Let me
Yes.
get the phone back up
Yep.
here. From Beer to Eternity is the new ministry album.
Yes,
And does it sound like classic ministry?
it does.
Because I remember when you did the album, you're like, I wish it sounded a little more like classic ministry. This sounds like classic ministry.
It sounds like classic ministry. Yeah, we definitely, I think people are going to be surprised. It doesn't sound like the last 3 records.
right.
Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of it. I think, in my opinion, it has more of like Filth Pig, Psalm 69 kind of sound to it.
See, I like that.
Oh yeah.
But because
Are we actually recording?
we're actually recording this, yes.
Oh my god.
Your butt
What do you
is
think?
like-
They
wait,
just
hold
shut
on.
it off? Of course we're recording it. So
Look at her, how red her butt is.
I'll take your word for it.
Look at.
You're good, Sin. What can I tell you? You're a guitar
I
player.
was trying to see what that tattoo is.
Yeah, we can't
did-
really see the tattoo.
There's a few tattoos going on
Let's
here.
see.
No, be careful now. Courtney, so you're working on a book. You got the Do You Think You're Funny?
Yeah.
What else you got going on?
Go people.
Well,
You gotta do
What
it
else
like
you got
mean it,
going on?
man.
I have an award show called the Schoolie. The Schoolie
Well, this is
Award.
an appropriate time to talk about that. You got the Schoolie Awards. I was reading about this. Explain this to the people at home.
Well, I give awards to old school artists and entrepreneurs, and it's
Wow.
an annual event.
Really do like.
And
Right. Well, these are the people that just
know, some- some,
that deserve the credit and don't get it.
All right, so it's that kind of show.
Now, how does that mink feel?
that's
I know. Now it's a totally different show.
Helles,
hold that.
we're talking about the school, the Schoolie
Hold on.
Awards.
Now it definitely looks like we're on tour.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
so
got to hang out
sometimes-
with you guys more.
Cornelius knows what I'm talking
Corn and Sin, man.
Yeah, posthumously also I give them awards to.
Okay, so these are people behind the scenes,
Well, old school artists, mostly old school.
old school artists.
Yeah, and entrepreneurs also.
Now, who have you got given awards to?
I've given awards to Howard Fuqua, Junior Walker, to the
Nice.
Marvelettes,
Right.
to Herb Reed, who's
Right.
the founder of the Platters,
Right,
Wally Roker,
right.
and Regina Jones, who was the founder and editor of Soul Magazine, which was our Hollywood Reporter back in the day.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people like
And
that.
you worked for the Hollywood Reporter for one.
I did. I did reviews and stuff for the Hollywood Reporter for a period of time. Yeah.
You know what? You guys can do whatever you want. Jansen, you remember last time we did a show and you said Count Smokey was the wildest thing you've ever seen in the studio? Yeah. Have you changed your mind?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Corn, let me. I could do this all day, but where does the time go? Corn.
Easy madness.
Corn. Well, hold on.
Whoa.
Yeah, don't waste a drink.
Corn. The Do You Think You're Funny comedy shows every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday
Starts at
starting
7:30.
7:30.
And we got music first.
Music first.
Good music first.
Yeah.
Terrific music. You had jazz bands.
We have a jazz and
Hillary Street. Did I mess up his
Hillard
name?
Street.
Hillard
Hillard
Street.
Street. Yeah,
Hillard
he
Street
does- he
was
does it all.
fantastic.
He
I'm going to
does it
have him
all.
in the studio one of these days with
Yeah.
Helles.
yeah, that would be
Uh-oh.
good.
Fuck that.
And then there's clean comedy. And then there's dirty comedy. By the way, happy birthday, Corn.
Look at that.
Thank
Mink.
you, thank
Mink
you.
on mink.
It's good to still be here. It's good to still be here.
I'll bet it is. And Corn, your website is Cornelius.
Cornelius Grant at CorneliusGrant.com.
CorneliusGrant.com.
He forgot.
Follow you.
And
Follow,
that's spelled C-O-M.
and your Twitter handle is like a weird one. It's something 999.
Yeah, cgrant9 at AOL.com.
cgrant9 at AOL.com.
Yeah.
Catch him on Twitter. Catch him on Facebook. The
Right.
man is a legend. He's played million shows with million people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
Lanchero-
had a show like this.
Yeah, right. Twitter is Lanchero999.
That's the one. Lanchero999.
Nice.
Follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Sin,
Yes.
the new ministry album's coming out in September.
September 6th, yes.
Al's doing a book.
He is doing a book. His book comes out in August, I believe.
And tell Al how much fun the show is. I'd love to have him in.
Yeah, I will.
Hell's bells.
We're gonna have Helles Belle in here. And when does Superman come out?
We're actually working on a record right now.
Okay.
So we should have either an EP or some singles out in the next few months. We actually have a video out in about 2 months.
Right. And let me know when you have that on. I'll play it on the show.
For sure.
It's consuming. Yeah. And we have. And you can follow you on Twitter and Facebook and all
Yes.
the things.
Yeah.
And like Supermanic, you can hear that song. And you got about 1,000 likes so far. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
It's pretty quick for us, for it to
And
happen.
I think after this performance, you'll have 1,000 more. And Helles, what are you doing besides?
Besides getting spanked.
Yes.
Besides getting, oh my god.
Follow Helles Belle on Facebook. Helles
Everybody
Belle.
knows how to follow me.
I'll bet they do.
All of the staff.
Will you wish Cornelius a happy birthday? He's over there. No, not me. Yeah.
Give him a birthday hug.
Sing
Give him a birthday
him a
lap.
birthday
Give
hug.
him a birthday lap dance.
Yeah,
or something.
birthday lap
Sing happy
dance.
birthday like Marilyn Monroe.
Like Marilyn Monroe. Kick over his
Yeah.
water. Sing it like Marilyn Monroe.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Kick over your water.
I was going to end the show with a spanking train, but I think this is better.
No, I was
better.
thinking a spanking train.
Do you guys want to do a spanking train
Sure.
on Helles Belle?
We already started.
Take off. Get off the table.
She whoa. She likes the table.
Yeah.
Well, it's rock hard as
Whoa.
everybody else.
Hey, now.
Okay, now,
This
baby.
thing looks like it's just in the way.
Here. Follow me on Goth Comedian. The Dark Mark Show on
People,
Twitter.
let's go.
You want to say one more thing to the people, Els?
Come follow me on gothmark.com. I don't know.
Josie, you have a tough act to follow if you come back on this show. Let me tell you something. Helles Belle, you are back. I love it. Please, Dark Mark
Nice.
Show on Twitter, Dark Mark Show,
I'm evil.
Dark Mark Show on Facebook. Please follow me, Goth Comedian. I will be at the Do You Think You're Funny show in a couple weeks. We're all coming down.
Definitely.
I'm bringing the absinthe and
Yeah.
hijinks like this man
Go,
too.
bitches.
Folks, music legends and debauchery. That's what it's all about. Thanks for tuning in.
Come on
Thank
down
you.
every
Thank you.
Tuesday night,
Mwah.
7:30.
Have a wonderfully creepy night.